The sun rose over San Diego. It was the 4th of July, a day for celebration, a day for fireworks. The city was alive with anticipation. Families prepared for picnics. Children laughed in the streets, but a shadow lurked beneath the surface, a threat to the city's joy. Jennifer and Jett Johnson felt the weight of it. They knew the truth. A cyber attack was coming. Jennifer and Jett were siblings. They were also partners. Together they led Johnson Tech, a cutting-edge technology company. Their company was the city's shield. It was their duty to protect it. Jennifer stood at her office window. The city stretched before her, so vibrant, so vulnerable. She thought of the people below, unaware of the danger. She had a responsibility to protect them. She wouldn't fail them.
Jennifer, we can't let them down. We have to stop this.
Jett paced the room. He checked his phone. News feeds scrolled by. All positive. For now. He knew it was a facade. The truth was out there, hidden in the digital world. Anton Virelli. The name sent a chill down his spine. A cybercriminal. A mastermind. He was behind this attack. Jett could feel it. Time was running out. Every second counted. Jennifer and Jett had to act fast. They had to find Virelli. They had to stop him. The fate of San Diego rested on their shoulders. The 4th of July was supposed to be a celebration, but for Jennifer and Jett, it had become a race against time, a fight to save their city, a fight they were determined to win. The air crackled with tension. Jennifer and Jett's team huddled around a bank of monitors. Their faces were grim. The evidence was mounting. Virelli wasn't playing games.
He's going after the power grid. If he succeeds, the entire city will go dark. He's also targeting financial institutions, trying to cripple our economy. Narrator. Jennifer's heart pounded. A city without power. It was unthinkable. Hospitals, traffic lights, homes, all plunged into darkness. The potential for chaos was terrifying.
The team knew they had to act quickly. The city's future depended on it. Virelli's plan was unfolding with chilling precision. He was a ghost in the machine, but his presence was everywhere. Jennifer could feel his malice, his desire to watch the city crumble.
He's good, Jett admitted, his voice low, but he's not unbeatable. We'll find his weakness.
Jett studied the lines of code scrolling across the screen. He was a master of cybersecurity, but even he was impressed by Virelli's skill. This was a formidable opponent. Jennifer nodded, her eyes narrowed in determination. They had to break through Virelli's defenses. They had to understand his strategy. They had to outthink him. Time was their enemy. Every passing minute brought them closer to Virelli's deadline. They could feel the pressure mounting. The weight of the city rested on their shoulders. Jennifer glanced at the clock on the wall. The countdown had begun. The 4th of July fireworks would soon light up the sky. But would it be a celebration or a disaster?
We need to move fast, Jennifer said, her voice firm. We have to anticipate his next move. We need to think like him, he said. Get inside his head.
The team worked feverishly, their fingers dancing across keyboards. They were in a race against time, a battle against an unseen enemy. The fate of San Diego hung in the balance. Jennifer and Jett stood on the cliffs of Torrey Pines. The Pacific Ocean stretched before them, vast and powerful, a reminder of the stakes. Below, the city bustled with life, unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows. Torrey Pines, a place of breathtaking beauty, and today, a place of vital strategy. It was here, amidst the rugged cliffs and whispering pines, that they would plan their counterattack. The air was thick with salt and anticipation. The weight of responsibility pressed down on them, but they would not falter. They would not yield. They would stand firm against the threat. Gathering the forces of good, one by one their allies arrived.
A man of unwavering integrity and action. His jaw was set, his eyes determined. He would be their shield in the physical world.
The city's leading cybersecurity expert. Her mind was sharp, her knowledge vast. She would be their weapon in the digital realm.
Their head of security. A mountain of a man, his presence exuded calm and strength. He would ensure their safety, both online and off.
A tech genius whose innovations had revolutionized the industry. He would bring his expertise to bear on Virelli's defenses.
A plan takes shape. They gathered around a table, maps and diagrams spread out before them. The mood was serious, focused. The threat was real, the danger imminent.
Virelli is planning to cripple our city. He wants to spread fear and chaos, but we will not let him win.
Jett outlined their strategy. Their plan was bold, risky, but it was their only chance. They would strike at Virelli's servers, disrupt his network, and bring him down. Strength in unity. The team worked through the night, analyzing data, identifying targets, strengthening defenses. The hours ticked by, each one bringing them closer to the brink. But as they worked, a sense of unity grew. They were united in their purpose, their determination to protect their city. They would not be divided. They would not be broken. The fate of San Diego rested on their shoulders. But they were ready. They were prepared to fight. They were prepared to win. Jennifer looked around the room, at the faces of her team. Sheriff Carter, his eyes hardened with resolve. Rachel Kim, her brow furrowed in concentration. Tom, his gaze steady and unwavering. And David Morales, his fingers flying across the keyboard, a digital warrior in his element. They came from different worlds: law enforcement, cybersecurity, tech innovation. But today they were united, bound by a common purpose: to protect their city, to defend their way of life.
Jennifer drew strength from their unity. They were not just a team, they were a family, a force to be reckoned with, and they would not be broken.
"We have a responsibility," Jennifer said, her voice firm, echoing in the silence of the room. "To our city, to our families, to ourselves. We will not let Virelli win."
Jett nodded, his gaze sweeping over the faces of their team.
We're facing a formidable enemy, he acknowledged, his voice calm but resolute. But we are not alone. We have each other, and we have our faith.
He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, worn Bible, a symbol of hope, a reminder of strength beyond their own. He opened it to a bookmarked page, his eyes scanning the familiar words.
Be strong and courageous, Jett read aloud, his voice resonating with conviction. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go.
A hush fell over the room as Jett's words hung in the air. A sense of peace settled over them, a calm amidst the storm. They were ready, they had prepared, and they would face the coming challenge with courage and faith. Jennifer took a deep breath, the weight of responsibility pressing down on her, yet she felt a strange sense of calm settle over her. The calm before the storm. They had done everything they could. Now it was time to act.
Let's do this, she said, her voice a quiet command, her eyes gleaming with determination.
She knew the fight ahead would be difficult, perhaps even devastating, but they would face it together, united, unbreakable. The fate of San Diego, their city, their home, rested on their shoulders, and they would not fail. The clock ticked past midnight. The 4th of July had arrived, but there were no fireworks. Not yet. Not the kind the city was expecting. In the darkened room at Johnson Tech, Jennifer watched the monitors. Lines of code scrolled at a dizzying pace. A digital storm was brewing, and they were about to enter the eye.
"He's making his move," Rachel announced, her voice tight with tension. "Targeting the power grid, Substation Alpha."
Jennifer's heart pounded. Substation Alpha, a critical node in the city's power infrastructure. If Virelli succeeded, a blackout would ripple through San Diego. Chaos would ensue. Jett hunched over his keyboard, his fingers a blur of motion.
I'm in, he muttered, his voice barely audible above the hum of the servers, trying to lock him out.
The room crackled with tension. A digital battlefield had materialized before their eyes. Lines of code were their weapons, firewalls their shields.
He's good, David murmured, peering over Jett's shoulder. This is some of the most sophisticated malware I've ever seen.
But Jett was better. He was a master of his craft. He fought back against Virelli's relentless assault, a digital dance of attack and counterattack.
"I'm setting up a diversion," she announced, her fingers flying across the keyboard, trying to draw his fire. Narrator: Rachel, her brow furrowed in concentration, worked feverishly on her own terminal.
She unleashed her own arsenal of digital weapons, viruses designed to confuse, to disrupt, to buy them precious time. The fate of the city rested on their ability to outmaneuver a ghost in the machine.
"I've got him," Tom exclaimed, his voice booming through the room. "He's accessed the system from a server farm downtown, sending a team now."
The clock continued its relentless countdown. Every second counted. Every keystroke could be the difference between victory and defeat. The pressure was immense, suffocating.
I can feel the sweat trickling down my spine, but I can't afford to crack. I have to stay strong for my team, for my city.
The battle was far from over, but they had landed their first blow. They had drawn first blood, and they would not rest until Virelli was stopped, until their city was safe. The tension in the room was palpable. Jennifer could hear her own pulse pounding in her ears. The glow of the monitors painted the faces of her team in an eerie light.
We've been battling Virelli for hours. Every time we think we've gained an advantage, he counters with a new, more insidious attack.
Doubt began to creep into Jennifer's mind. Was it even possible to defeat someone like Virelli, someone who seemed to exist only in the digital ether, a phantom in the machine?
I look at Jett, his face etched with fatigue, his fingers still dancing across the keyboard. Even his usual unwavering confidence seems shaken.
She closed her eyes for a moment, trying to gather her thoughts, her strength. The weight of the city, of the thousands of lives depending on them, pressed down on her with an almost physical force.
I have to believe we can do this. We have to stop Virelli, but how?
As if reading her mind, Jett reached out and placed his hand over hers. His touch was warm, reassuring. He didn't say anything, but his silent gesture spoke volumes. They were in this together. They would face this challenge together, as they had faced every challenge in their lives.
We need a moment.
Jett's voice was hoarse but firm. He stood up and walked over to a corner of the room, where a worn, leather-bound Bible lay open on a table. It was the same Bible their grandfather, the founder of Johnson Tech, had kept with him through thick and thin. It was a symbol of their family's legacy, their unwavering faith.
The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul.
The words of the psalm, ancient yet eternally relevant, washed over Jennifer, calming her frayed nerves, filling her with a sense of peace that surpassed all understanding. It was a reminder that they were not alone in this fight, that even in the darkest of times there was a higher power, a guiding light, a source of strength beyond their own. Jennifer stood beside Jett, her hand still resting on his. She closed her eyes and listened to the words, letting them seep into her soul, renewing her spirit, strengthening her resolve. They would not give up. They would not surrender to fear or doubt. They would fight for their city, for their family, for their faith. When they finished reading, a profound silence filled the room. It was not the silence of defeat, but the silence of renewed determination, of unwavering faith. They had faced their moment of doubt and emerged stronger, more united than ever before. The battle was far from over, but they were ready. They would face the coming storm with courage, with faith, with the unwavering belief that they would prevail. Dawn broke over San Diego. The first rays of sunlight pierced the blinds of the Johnson Tech headquarters, painting streaks of gold across the weary faces of the team. The air, still thick with the tension of the night, now held a new note, the sweet scent of victory. Virelli's attack had been thwarted, his malicious code neutralized. The city's power grid hummed back to life, lights flickered on across San Diego, signaling the return to normalcy. But the victory had come at a price. Hours of relentless work, sleepless nights, and the ever-present fear of failure had taken their toll. Jennifer leaned back in her chair, her muscles aching, her eyelids heavy. She watched as Jett, his face pale but a triumphant smile playing on his lips, typed the final commands, effectively shutting down Virelli's access points. They had won, but the battle had been long and grueling. News of Virelli's capture spread like wildfire. Relief washed over San Diego. The 4th of July celebrations, delayed but not defeated, resumed with a renewed fervor, a city's collective sigh of relief echoing through the streets. The Johnson siblings, hailed as heroes, stood side by side, accepting the gratitude of their city, their nation. But for Jennifer and Jett, the true reward was not the accolades, but the knowledge that they had lived up to their family legacy, to the responsibility they held not just for their company, but for the very heart of their city. Their victory had resonated far beyond the borders of San Diego. It was a beacon of hope in an increasingly interconnected world, a testament to the power of courage, determination, and faith in the face of unseen enemies. The fight for cybersecurity was far from over, but on this 4th of July, under the vast, star-spangled banner of freedom, they had proven that even in the darkest hour, hope could prevail, and the human spirit, fueled by faith and driven by purpose, could overcome any challenge.